Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you the best way to breed your meat rabbits with 5 tips. So let's go ahead and get started. Tip number 1, you want to make sure your rabbits are already fed. When you put one rabbit into the other's cage, if they haven't been fed and they're hungry, then they're going to focus on eating and not allow the male to mount the female. She'll just be focused on eating and not mating. So that's tip number 1, is you want to make sure that they're well fed. Tip number 2 is we recommend you do it in the evening, closer to night. Rabbits are naturally nocturnal, so the closer you can get to their natural environment and habitat as far as breeding and being awake, the better, we think. So we always mate our rabbits in the evening, and we've had pretty good success with that so far. And in the summertime, it's usually cooler, and so they're not so hot and stressed and more likely to actually get a successful mating. All right, tip number 3 is you always want to put the female rabbit, into the male's cage. The female rabbits are a lot more territorial, and most likely if you put a male into the female's cage, all they're going to do is attack the male and they're not going to mate. So you always want to put the female into the male cage. That way she's out of her element and she'll explore a little bit, and the male will feel more comfortable, check her out, and she'll be more willing to mate because she's not defending her area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start to transfer the first female into the male's cage, and then I'll go over some more tips to help you get a more successful mating. The first lady we're going to mate is Mocha, and she's bred a couple of litters for us.
Well,
And she's a pretty good mom, so we're satisfied with her. But it's time for her to go ahead and get mated again. So I'm gonna grab her and I'm gonna put her in Chad's cage because that's her male that we paired her up with.
yeah, we only have two males currently, and one of them is her baby, so we can't breed her back to her baby. I mean, I guess we could because they're not siblings, but we prefer not to.
All right, so I'm gonna introduce her into here and see how she's like sniffing around because she's out of her area, so she's not attacking. And he's gonna go ahead and get right at it. Now, tip number 4 is when he's successful, he'll fall off. That's how you know you've had a successful mating. See how he fell off right there?
That's one.
Now, that tip is you want to usually let him get at least 3 knockoffs to ensure that she got impregnated. So he did it one time, and we're going to let him wait for him to do it 2 more times. Sometimes it will take a while, and usually we'll just sit out here and watch and just pay attention to them. And once he's got 3 knockoffs, then we'll usually wait to see if he wants to go again. But usually by that time the female's done and she's not down to play anymore. And so then we'll move her back to her cage and it will be done. See, he didn't knock off that time. Okay, so that was a second fall off or knock off. I've been saying both. And now we're just waiting for one more good fall off. And sometimes when they're in their mating, sometimes the female will act like she's mounting him, and you might get confused, like, wait, what's going on? That's okay, and that's natural, and it's probably a female because sometimes that happens to us, and we were like, wait a minute, are we sure it's a female? But it is. That's just their way of bonding and playing. So it's fine. It's perfectly natural for them to do that, and don't get too stressed out about that.
Yeah, now she's not lifting for him.
So what I'm going to do now is the fifth tip. Sometimes, not normally, you do this for new rabbits when either the male hasn't mated before or the female hasn't mated before. What you can do is you can assist sometimes, and they'll allow you. So we'll go ahead and try it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the female, and I'm going to pull her tail up. Attempt to, anyway. She's always been the more feisty one. And I'm going to put her head down and help him get a good angle. There you go. And that's a third knock, or third fall off. So that's 3. She should be good and impregnated now. Good job, Chad. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and grab her again and go put her back in her cage so she can rest and get comfortable, you know.
I got that. You take her.
Okay, so now Maggie, she's in here and she currently has bunnies in here that she's been raising. We're getting ready to put them in their grow out pen. They don't really need her anymore, but it's also time for her to be mated again. So we're gonna mate her with our other male over here. What do we name him? Shadow?
Yeah.
So he is a younger rabbit and he has never mated before. So he's new to this. So it'll probably take a little bit more time for us, not for you because we'll cut the video. But it might take some more time for him and he might need some help and assistance. So we'll see how it goes. So they've never been paired before, so they do need to get to kind of know each other. The other two, they've mated several times, so they kind of know each other. But these two, this is their first time actually being in the same cage together. All right, so he's doing good. Look at that.
There's
Oh,
one.
that's
Good
one fall off.
job.
And when you're breeding rabbits, that you want to pay attention to how well they essentially act like rabbits. So he determined that she was a female and he instantly started trying to mate. So that's good genes for your meat rabbits. And also you want to pay attention to the females, if they allow the males to mount them and if they're good mothers. then you got some good genes in that. But if you get rabbits that have small litters or are very difficult to get pregnant, then you might want to think about getting a different meat rabbit.
You also want to watch them while they're mating because sometimes a female can be very aggressive and they can bite their junk off.
That would more likely happen when, again, you put the male in the female's pen instead of the female in the male's pen. So we'll give them some time. There you go. See how she's, I don't know if you can see in the video, but she decides whether he is successful or not because she'll tilt her butt end up. If she doesn't want to, she won't do that. So she's allowing him to do that, which is very good. She's a good meat rabbit because she's allowing him to do that. You know what I'm saying? With no fight or fuss. Even though this is their first time meeting.
Even though he don't know which end is up.
Well, Chad used to do that same thing. So he wants her to move and she's just chilling. So we'll give it a couple minutes and see. And again, if I need to try to assist, then I'll do that because he's already gotten 2 fall-offs. So we just want one more just to try and ensure that she got impregnated. See how she's not lifting her butt?
She said, "You didn't bring me no flowers."
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to assist. Now, sometimes when you assist or try to assist, it doesn't work out because sometimes the male will be like, I don't know. And he won't even bother mounting her if I'm holding her.
Oh, you don't
But
care.
Usually they don't mind too much.
What is he doing?
He licked my hand, and so now he's got the taste of
He's like,
my
Salt.
salty sweat. So that might have thrown him off.
Okay. Let's see if they'll do it without holding on to her. She's like, no. He's doing good though.
Yeah, he's doing real good, and this is his first time, and he knew exactly what to do. It's just sometimes she can be stubborn, and that's fine. Maybe she knows she's impregnated, and this isn't her first rodeo, so we're not too worried about it. So we might just stop at 2 if she's not going to allow any more. And then what we can do is in a day or 2 come out here and let them do it again, just to try to make sure that she is impregnated. And for a bonus tip, something that you might want to pay attention to is how big your rabbits get and how much feed you're giving them. Now, this isn't the case here because we know that she's being mounted successfully and getting impregnated successfully. But sometimes people overfeed their rabbits and they get too fat, and to where it makes it too difficult for the males to actually impregnate the females. So you always want to kind of monitor that as well, their size and how much feed you're giving them and how if they get too fat. But I know that's not the case with her because again, he just fell off twice with her, and she's been successfully impregnated and had litters a lot. So I'm just gonna move her around a little bit, maybe. Okay, well, she's decided that she's done, so we're gonna have to settle for 2 fall offs. And again, what we'll do is in 2 days, we'll come back out here, put her in there again, and see if he can get 1 or 2 more fall offs. That way we feel more confident that she's actually impregnated. You want to plan out when you breed them according to, you know, seasons and when you want to butcher the rabbits. So you need to plan that stuff out. So we want her to get impregnated now or in a couple of days. That way the babies will be ready to dispatch and butcher at a certain time. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab her and put her back in there with her babies, and we'll call it a day. And then an extra bonus tip: whenever you're putting your females back into their cages, it might seem gross, but I don't know if you paid attention to how I put them in to their cages. I have them by the back of the neck, and whenever I'm putting them in their cage, I scoop their butt. Now, if you feel wetness,
That is gross.
then there's a good chance that she didn't get impregnated and he didn't actually get it inside of her. And so again, you might want to try a day or 2 later. But if you notice her bottom is still dry, then that's a good indication that it was a successful mating. So again, we'll try again in a couple of days with her.
Wait, so was she wet or dry?
Oh, she was dry.
Oh, good.
So we'll still do it in 2 days, but I'm pretty confident that the deed is done. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, if it was helpful at all, if you wouldn't mind liking the video or subscribing, we'd greatly appreciate it. And with that, I hope everybody has a great day.